All right, we're back now. So let's pick an element. I think we did vanadium earlier. So let's go get vanadium from the periodic table. Okay, vanadium is 23. Okay, the reason I'm doing this is because the way I'm explaining it, it might get confusing if I didn't explain it this way. Okay, because so far everything we've done was perfectly ordered and there's no problem. Say if you've mastered it already, then you have no problems. But if you have not, then this would be even more difficult. Okay, vanadium is 23, so we know from our practice, so it's got 23 protons and 23 electrons. So now I don't want you to make any big changes as far as the learning goes. We're just going to do a subtle change in the very end after we even assigned electrons. Okay, now that's where you got to be careful. Now vanadium, if you see, is kind of in the third row, but it's also got a fourth row. You see, it's got 3D. You'd be wondering, am I out of your mind? Maybe I am from teaching chemistry for so long, but you see that it's following that potassium and calcium. They have 4s, but then you see those that are following where the vanadium is located. It's part of that 3D bracket in green, right? Okay, I'm going to explain that why that happens. So anyways, up until that point we have no problem. So we're going to still follow the sequence. Okay, so vanadium's got 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, and 3d. This is based on the sequence directly out from the PowerPoint. If you don't believe me, it's right up there. 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d. Now you'd wonder, because that's the way they were able to fit it into that beautiful structure. Technically 3d should have come before 4s, but don't change it yet. Do it this way and do it the way I'm showing you, so it makes a lot more sense. So I'm going to go pick another color for our electrons. Keep in mind, we got to get 23 electrons in. So start putting things in. Again, the change that you will make after you fill is very simple. All right, so 2 s orbital can hold 2 more. This is p, it can hold 6. It can hold, okay, sorry, I accidentally hit my eraser. Okay, all right, so again same business. Your s is got 2, p's got 6, s got 2. Now, as always, you don't fill the last one. Start counting. This is when you're practicing, okay? When you're like me, your left hand and right hand will look the same. You're so got the material. Now, if you notice, obviously, that's 10, 12, 18, I believe there's 20, okay? But we want, our target is 23, right? That means we add 3 more to get to 23. Okay, 23. That means we add 3 here. Now this is the completed sequence, but there's a problem with it, because as I said, they fitted the 3D into that structure, so it gives that beautiful looking periodic table. But technically, if they had moved it 1 row up, then it presented some potential problems. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to switch to another color, perhaps a red this time, because maybe it's a caution, I don't know. Switch to red. Now all we're going to do is, after you fill, move this orbital here and move this whole thing here. Don't change anything, the numbers, none of that, okay? So here's what the final version would look like. Now this is only when you do it for anything past 3D, you're going to do this, okay? I'm going to do one more example just to get this idea across. So you write everything the same way. You're not switching electrons, you're just switching the whole thing, moving the entire thing one step forward and write it this way. You see, the 4s2 went back, the 3d3 came first. You just flip the last 2, whatever that last 2 is, that involves a 3D or anything past a 3D. Now this is the correct configuration. Now doing this with those circles could be very difficult, okay? But before we go any further, I'm going to go back to one of the easier ones and do the circle format, and then we can come back and do the complex ones again. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I do want to help you learn that structure, the circular structure ones, for the easier ones with absolutely no complications. You see, this is not the completed version. This right here, I'm going to switch back to maybe another color, maybe a black. Okay, this right here is the completed configuration. Okay, the one above is partially correct, but it's not completely accurate. This is the completed and accurate configuration, the one below in red. Okay, now we're going to go practice some more with the easier ones, come back and resurface this and do a couple more on this, because probably when we are doing this we won't do those circular ones. But I'm going to stop here and then help you practice the easier ones first. Again, we're going to come back to this. Okay, great.